Hello everyone, being seeing after a long time. So today we will be learning about plant tissue. In basic of biology, we have already learned about the chapter cell. This is the basic unit of life. The basic structural and functional unit of life is the cell. Now let's go one step ahead, which is tissue. Now what does exactly a tissue mean? A tissue is a group of cells having a common origin and performing a specific function. So these are a group of cells. I hope this is understood. What is a cell? Cell is a basic structural and functional unit. Now when they just come together and they form a tissue. Now when these cells come together, they will only a same kind, a same species ka cells can come together and form a tissue. You can't say कि one meristematic cell and one parenchyma cell will come together and they'll form a tissue. No, that's not possible. Either everything has to be meristematic or all the cells have to be parenchyma. So that is not possible कि one animal cell and one plant cell will come together and form a tissue. So that's not possible. Any different type of cells can't come and form a tissue. It has to be a same species ka cell. That is, when a same species, cell will be of same species, then there is a common origin. Now, when a cell is performing a function, the other cell of the same species will also perform the same function. So, henceforth, all the cells perform a same function. So, therefore, a tissue which is there, it will perform one specific function. Now, mainly these tissues are classified into two parts. These tissues which are there, they are formed into two parts: plant tissue and animal tissue. Now, if we just combine both together, it will be a very big thing. So, I'll upload two videos, one on plant tissues, one on animal tissues. So, today let us learn about these plant tissues. Now, in plant tissues, there are mainly two type of tissues: meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Now, this differentiation which is there, why there is meristematic and this permanent tissue, why they are different? So, there is a basis of differentiation. That is that ability of the mature cells to divide. If the cells are able to divide, okay, just they are newborn cells and they are able to divide, then they are meristematic tissues. But the cells which have divided and lose the capability to divide are the permanent cells. They cannot divide more. Okay, so now let us learn about these meristematic tissues and permanent tissues in detail. As we know, animal tissue and plant tissue, these are two basic type of tissues. Now in plant tissues, the basic types are meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue is of three types: apical meristem, lateral meristem and intercalary meristem. The permanent tissue which is there, it is of again two types: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Let us just see with help of this. Yeah, so plant tissue divided into meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Permanent tissue further divided into simple tissue and complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue is parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. The modification of parenchyma is chlorenchyma and aerenchyma. Whereas complex which are there, they are xylem and phloem. Phloem is not seen here, but it is phloem. Okay. Now, when these two are now permanent tissues are which cannot divide. So permanent tissue also has two types: simple tissue which provide only mechanical strength, but complex tissue which are there, they make the function that they are conducting tissues. They conduct the substances in plant. What are to be conducted, we have already learned in transport in plants, that is water and the food material which is made by the leaf. We have learned transport in plants before this, so we know about xylem and phloem, which is the complex permanent tissue. Now let us learn about all these permanent tissues in detail. So first type is the meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue by nature is, we all have know that they can just divide indefinitely. So the dividing cells which are there are meristematic tissue. Now meristematic tissues which are there, they are always spherical, oval or polygonal. So we can see in the diagram, these are polygonal shaped meristematic tissues. So the shape is somewhat like this. The cell wall which is there, it is usually thin and it is made up of cellulose. We have learned in cell chapter, usually plant cells have the cell wall, and usually the cell wall is made up of cellulose. So now in meristematic tissue, the cell wall is pretty thin. Why is that so? The meristematic tissue which are there, they have not yet divided. So to divide, if the cell wall which is there is thin, it will be easier to divide for them. Otherwise it will be difficult to divide when if the cell wall is thick, so just pierce out of that thick cell wall, it would be difficult. So henceforth, first when it is there, it is thin cell wall. So you should learn in this way that it's the first stage of the cell, so it is just thin cell wall. Then the intercellular spaces are absent. Now, why are intercellular spaces absent? We know these are the basic cells of meristematic tissue, means they are the basic cells. So, when they are just come out, they just don't different out. They are compacted, as we can see in this pictures. See, they are compacted. So, there are no spaces in this. Okay. Then they do not store or reserve food. Now, they are doing a function of dividing. Then they just don't do this the function of reserving food and all, because then that food and all also will be splitted, so that will be a great problem. Henceforth that is not done. Protoplasm is abundant, hence vacuoles are lacking or considerably reduced. The protoplasm which is there now, protoplasm is abundant. Usually these are quite different from the plant cell we see. Only a nucleus is there, cell wall and cytoplasm is there, and little bit organelles are there. So this is a meristematic tissue. Cell wall is thin. There is a large prominent nucleus because they are living cells. They are not dead. They are living cells. They are just a basic, so just they have come, they can divide. So they are the living cells, nucleus present. And the cytoplasm and the protoplasm which is there, that is abundant enough. Henceforth, vacuole is usually not there, or they are small vacuole. Okay. Now occurrence and functions. We have learned that meristematic tissues have three types. So occurrence and function is different for each meristematic tissue. So let's learn those tissues now. The types of meristematic tissue. There are apical meristem, lateral meristem, and intercalary meristem. So the apical meristem is situated at the growing tip of the stems and roots. So this is here at the tips, and at the, if the roots are there like these, suppose these are the roots of a plant. Okay, if suppose these are the roots, the tip which is there, apical tip, that is there is the apical meristem. Okay, so we know where apical meristems are situated. Meristematic tissues, what do? They split ho gaya, matlab two. Now say this is one finger, this finger splits, so two fingers have come now. Two fingers are taking large amount of area. So in this way something grows. So same way apical meristem which is there, it is at the tip of this root and stem and the root. So when they divide, they will divide. So say this is one cell, say this is one cell divides, and like this another cell comes, another cell divides, and another cell comes, like they like that way they divide and redivide, and all they form, they just grow like this. So that in that way apical meristem bring about elongation in root and stem. In the same way, intercalary meristems are located at the base of nodes and internodes. Okay, so or at the base of the leaves. So their function is to produce an increase of the length of organ where they are. Okay, same way lateral meristem is found beneath the bark of the cork of the tree, which is the cambium. Okay, there it causes function. The function here is that it causes organ to increase in diameter, where the tree which is there, we can't see that the tree is like that only for throughout their life. It increases by the stem also, it becomes thicker. So that is because of the lateral meristem. Now permanent tissues, we saw that there are two types: simple, which is protective and supported, and complex, which is conducting. So simple, first type in simple is parenchyma. So there are 5 bases on which you just remember these: the shape, the cell wall, the nucleus, the vacuole, the intercellular spaces. 5 things. Structure is divided into 5 things. You just remember these things, your structure is done. The shape of this parenchyma is isodiametric. What is isodiametric? Isodiametric is generally circle or oval. Okay, circle or oval. So we can see the shape of these. Here there are circular, here there are oval. Okay, so you can see by the shape only you can understand. Okay, then the cell wall is again thin cell wall made up of cellulose. Why? Because parenchyma is a little bit bigger stage of this meristematic. Meristematic has just divided, okay, and it has become this parenchyma. Parenchyma also has to divide more. So henceforth here also the cell wall is thin enough. The nucleus is present, henceforth these cells which are there, they are living cells. Vacuole is present in these cells. The vacuole is very large. We can see in the diagrams the vacuole. I'll show you by coloring them. These the this part, white part, you can see that is nothing but the vacuole. Okay, here also the white part which is there, that is all the vacuole. So a large prominent vacuole is there in this parenchyma. Intercellular spaces are present but in a small quantity. Very small intercellular spaces are there in this parenchyma cells. Location, it is either in the cortex of roots, or it is either ground tissue and stems, or in the mesophyll of leaves. Its function is to store food. Vacuole is there means food storage is there. It's just a temporary support for the plant in some cases. Why? Because parenchyma gives support, but it's temporary because it's just divided. They are not that much capable of just keeping the plant stiff enough. Then is it they prepare food if chloroplast is present. Now about this we will be learning in the next slide. We have seen that there are modifications of parenchyma, not as types as such. This in this slide you just ignore these types. You can say modifications of parenchyma. So the first modification is aerenchyma. Aerenchyma location is in floating hydrophytes. What are hydrophytes? Hydrophytes are the the water plants, aquatic plants which float. Okay, they now this aerenchyma which is there, you can see that there are air spaces in this aerenchyma. So henceforth its name is aerenchyma. Now it has these air spaces, so it reduces the density of the plant, and henceforth they can float on the water. It provides buoyancy. Okay, now next is chlorenchyma. We saw in the last function of parenchyma if chlorophyll is present. So these are these parenchyma cells which have chlorophyll present. So they are called as the chlorenchyma cells, just similar to chlorophyll parenchyma, just mix up chlorenchyma. Okay, now since they have the chlorophyll pigment present, they are green in color. Green in color, that means they will carry out photosynthesis, due to which they can prepare their own food. Next is collenchyma. By shape, it is elongated. Now, why is it elongated? This is a little higher stage. Okay, meristematic tissues, they were just normal spherical. Okay, then the parenchyma, little bit just like isodiametric, they become oval or spherical. Now these collenchyma which are there, they are elongated cell. Why does that happen? Just when they are just dividing, they get elongated. Okay, the cell wall is unevenly thickened with pectin in the corners of the cell. We can see in the corners it is just unevenly thickened, and like you can see here, it's thickened over here. So in that way, in every part it is just thickened like that. Okay, these are little elongated cells. So the cell wall which is there, it is unevenly thickened with pectin. It is thickened because now it has gone to a higher stage. Okay, the nucleus is present, henceforth they are again living cells. Vacuole is comparatively small here. The intercellular spaces are there, which are there, no, they are not actually seen because they are filled up with pectin again. Okay, then the location, it is either in either below the epidermis of the skin, stems, or it is generally absent in roots, leaves and monocot stems. Okay, the function which is there, it provides mechanical support. Its cell wall is thickened with pectin. So since it's thickened with pectin, it's thick so that it cannot just like anything happens, it will not get just killed. So it has ability to support the plant. Henceforth, it can give a mechanical support. They can prepare food again if chloroplast is present. This is generally in young dicot stems or herbaceous plants. Sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma is the last type of permanent tissue in the last stage. Of course, you will understand that this is going to be quite a thick one. By the shape itself, you can understand that it's angular. It's angular in shape. You can see the first one, parenchyma. Parenchyma was isodiametric. Collenchyma was little elongated, but these are angular. That means they will be having angles. That means they will be geometric angular shapes. We can see this is like somewhat like hexagon. Yeah, if we just zoom it, you will understand that it's like an hexagon. So it has angles. Okay, so here's in the collenchyma we saw that cell wall which was there was unevenly thickened with pectin. In sclerenchyma, it is unevenly thickened with lignin. The nucleus is absent here. It is a dead cell. You should remember this. This is a very important point. Only sclerenchyma is dead. The vacuole is also absent. The intercellular spaces are also absent. It's quite a bit compact tissue because it's hard enough. Now location, it's hard, so it's in the hard part of the trees, like the stems, the veins of leaves which are there. In some part sclerenchyma is also there. As we learned in xylem and phloem, there are xylem sclerenchyma, that is xylem fiber, and phloem sclerenchyma, that is phloem fiber. So there are these presents, and hard covering of seeds and nuts, because they are just thick enough, so they can be in the coverings of nuts and seeds, so they are hard enough. Its function that the fibers which are there, they provide mechanical strength, and they also go in conduction. Okay, so and the scleretes which are there, they provide the functions. The scleretes are also known as the stone cells. Now let's just move to compact tissues, the complex tissues. They are conducting tissues, or they are also called as the vascular bundles. We have learned about this, just we'll brush up in this. The xylem which is there is made up of xylem tracheids, vessels, fibers, and dead component, the living component, xylem parenchyma. All others are dead. Its structure is that it is an elongated long cells which are having tapering ends, and they have lignified walls. Its location is in the root, stem, and leaf of the higher plants. They occur along with phloem to form the vascular bundles. Its function is to conduct water and minerals from the roots to the leaf upward direction, in the upward direction. Now the xylem which is there, we all know, from the roots, whatever water is taken, it takes upwards, in the upward direction, to the leaves and all, where they can use that water. Other thing is that the walls are lignified, henceforth they also provide a little bit of mechanical support to the plants. So we have learned about this xylem in the first chapter, that is transport and plants. So if you want to learn about these types of xylem and all this just conducting system, we'll watch that video of transport in plants. The second complex tissue is phloem. Phloem consists of living elements, that is sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and dead element phloem fibers. By structure, it is a thin wall, elongated cell, transverse wall perforated on the pore from the seed plate, we all know. And then it has just beside it has the companion cell and all that we have learned in the transport and plants. If you want to just learn that, go to that video. They are found in all plant parts like root, stem, and leaves. The function is that it conducts the prepared food from the leaves to all parts of the plant, so that the plant can use them and they can live it. So in this way, we have learned about plant tissues. Tissues is a very important chapter in this bio, because it's the basic. Okay, so let's go ahead. Thank you. I hope you must have understood about this chapter. Now in the next module, I'll be teaching about animal tissues. For now, it's enough. Thank you.